Hey, y'all, listen. What's today? Saturday. Happy Saturday, y'all. Welcome in the building. Happy Saturday. I'm glad to see y'all hanging out with me on this Saturday night for Trending Topics. Listen, people, we're going to get right into it, okay? It's Saturday night. It's Trending Topics, and we got stuff to talk about. Trying to see what's on my clothes here. All right. So, the title's called We Want Justice. We want justice. My heart breaks for, and may she rest in peace, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. My heart breaks for her. This girl was found chopped up in the trunk of a Tesla that belongs to the singer David. No one has got arrested. No one's being charged. And now the medical examiner said they're never going to know how she actually died. Why? They said her body parts were frozen. And it was body parts. And if I'm not mistaken, her head was not on her body. At the very least, I do know this. I really feel like if the cops come and find a body in the trunk of my car, I'm going to be brought in for questioning at the very least. Whatever happened to this girl, she didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve for her body to be in pieces. Her family didn't deserve for her to come back to them in pieces. Someone needs to pay. And they're saying they believe David did it and he had help. Somebody's about to break in this case. And my prayers is that Celeste gets justice. I also feel like because her family probably doesn't really speak English or don't speak English that well, I feel like justice is not coming to them. Because maybe they're not able to stay on the people's neck to say, what happened to my daughter? I don't care if my daughter was a runaway. I would be at that police station every day. I would be calling every news station. I would be speaking to them 24/7 until someone got arrested for the death of my daughter. But we're going to talk about it because we want justice. Then I did a story earlier. The firefighter from New Jersey, out here in Jersey. Bloomfield, New Jersey. I know the area. I went to Mount Clair State University, right next to Bloomfield. He's working. Y'all gotta forgive me. In this day and age, I don't get it why people still hate black people just because they black. I legit don't get it. It's very confusing to me. He's working. He's a firefighter. They was doing some type of training. The fellow firefighter, he tied up a rope like a noose. And when the black guy walked back in the fire station, he threw the noose at him. Now he's suing for $25 million, and I hope he gets every single dime. Like every single dime. And then some. I'm going to talk about it. And y'all, I could show y'all pictures. I used to live in braids. The queen of braids. In literally on 125th Street in New York, in Harlem. To this very day, her name is Amanetta. For 20 plus years, I know Amanetta. In her and the people in her braid shop braiding my hair. And sometimes what they would do is, at least at Amanetta's out there on 125th Street, whatever style I was getting, sometimes the style would take hours. I would literally come to them in the morning and leave them like 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. Hours. And so what happened was when they get partway through the style, and other stylists was finishing the people here they was doing, they will all come to my head so they can help finish up my head. And then when I go to pay, I pay the price of my hairstyle. And then I had to dig out tip money for all the people that was touching my head. But that's just etiquette. The tip. But in this particular situation, the girl got in her phone, the text that says it's going to cost you $200. To me, it is up to the owner or the person that's doing your hair. If they in the midst of your hair and the price they quoted you changes, before they finish your hair, they need to say, this is going to be something change. You want this instead of that, or we thought this instead of that. So your hair is going to cost $250 and not $200. When her hair was done, she gave them the $200 that she was quoted. They said, no, you owe us $50 more. She said, I gave you the money you asked me for. And sometimes, listen, I've been there too, where you just have, you know how much the style is going to cost you, and that's exactly what you got. And maybe you got a little tip money, but you wasn't anticipating that it was going to be more than they told you it was going to be before you got there. You can't count somebody's pockets. Y'all told her 200, she gave y'all 200. You got to take the hit. If you did something extra or just whatever, that ain't on them. On her, I mean. So they was grabbing her hair, holding her hair, locked her up in the salon. Well, they got arrested. You know that saying, they say you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You lost your mind over $50. And now you locked up with no bond. The part that confused me, though, was the no bond. Are they going to get deported back to Africa, Nigeria, or wherever their homeland is? So they missing out on all of that Thanksgiving money, because you know the people like to get their hair done and stuff before the holidays. They missing out on all that good money because they locked up, because they wanted to fight a customer over $50. I would chalk it up to the game. And I would have told her, you know what? Next time, just so you know, that's not a $200 hairstyle. That's a $250 hairstyle. But instead, y'all wanted to grab hair. Y'all wanted to get gangster. Y'all wanted to lock the door. Well, now you messed around and you found out. Y'all all three locked up and got mugshots. Over what? Over $50. It will never be that serious for me. Like ever. I have learned, but see, to me, as you get older, you owe it to yourself to be better than your previous self. We all could get better every day. I used to be mouthy, but now I woosah. I take 10 breaths. I breathe. I remain calm. And sometimes people say stuff to me and I just go quiet. Because I don't want the old me to rise up. So I be dying inside. I just go quiet. Because I ain't getting locked up. I'm not going to let you allow me to come out of self over nothing. Y'all lost your mind over $50? Stupid. But we're going to talk about it. Now, listen, people, it's Saturday night. It's trending topics. It's late. I want to bring the people on in the building. Y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Saturday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called We Want Justice. Celeste, my heart breaks for this girl and her family. Like I said, may she rest in peace. But it is not right. And the more details we get about how her body was discovered and the condition it was discovered in, it's sad. The firefighter, in the braiding salon. Let's get into this. Let me bring the people in. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva, choo choo.
Hey, Callie.
Hey.
Listen, we're gonna go ahead and get into this. Listen, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this. This David story. The way they say this girl body was found, I'm just confused about how he's not arrested. It's confusing me, but maybe we'll find out later. But this is very sad. It's very sad. So Celeste Rivas, body found in frozen state. Cause of death may never be determined. So Celeste Rivers' body had been frozen, and as a result, it looks like the LA County medical examiner will not be able to establish a cause of death. Sources directly connected to the investigation tell TMZ. So did they put this girl in a freezer? Like, this is crazy. According to those sources, the medical examiner received the body in horrendous condition. It was decapitated, and while the torso was intact, the limbs had been removed and cut into multiple pieces. Whoever did this is beyond sick. Beyond sick. Listen, I don't even, just sick. We're told all of the body parts were partially frozen and had apparently been thrown out while sitting in the trunk of David's Tesla. Remember, David's vehicle had not been moved for several days when it was parked on a Hollywood Hills street near his rental home, which resulted in it getting towed and then the body being found. As TMZ reported, Celeste's body was in such bad shape. Initially, investigators did not know if it was a male or a female. When the body was received by the medical examiner's office, the initial determination was that this was a victim of an apparent homicide. But our sources say the medical examiner is now having trouble establishing an official matter or cause of death, and it will most likely be undetermined. Other sources connected to the investigation tell TMZ the LAPD Robbery Homicide Division is viewing Celeste's death as a homicide. And even if the official cause of death is undetermined, authorities can move forward with an arrest. TMZ broke the story that David is now considered a suspect in Celeste's death. What's more, TMZ learned there's a second suspect who authorities believe helped David in the dismemberment of Celeste's body. Mark Garagos appeared on the most recent Two Angry Men podcast and said he knows the name of the second suspect, and authorities had told him this person might have been involved before, during, and after Celeste's death. TMZ also broke the story. A critical part of the case involves a trip investigators say David took to a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night back in the spring, where he spent 2 hours. If Celeste's body was taken to that area months before it was discovered in LA, it seems the operating theory is the body parts were put in some sort of freezer for a long time before it ended up in David's Tesla in late summer. This is sick. So they put this poor girl body in a freezer. I just don't understand what could have happened to her. In my opinion, your thoughts? Tara, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for the super chat.
We got demons like this running around. Listen here. Their demonic spirit got a lot of these people by the neck, and it's choking them. I don't understand how you cut somebody's body up in a little bit of pieces, freeze it, and then take it out and put it in the trunk of a car. I don't understand it either. And I want to know who he know that's keeping him out of jail. Because had it been anybody else, they wouldn't have been afraid to lock us up. So I want to know who he got on the payroll that's keeping him out of the handcuffs.
I don't know. Callie, your thoughts?
You know, the funny part is when we first started to hear more details about this, my mother had actually said that she suspected that she may have been in the freezer and they were moving her. I don't know what made her say that, but she literally said this like a month ago. Um, I did see the podcast with Harvey, where he was saying that he was told by someone in the police department stop trying to apply logic to the situation because nothing in this situation is logical. I don't know what happened to this girl. I'm suspecting the reason why, and I'm just going by the little bits and pieces of information that we have, that he hasn't been arrested is because there was a friend of his who had been driving that car. And that person is actually on video being the last person to move the car. Now, this friend of his, I don't know if his parents are somebody powerful. I don't know where this boy comes from. Um, it I'm even hearing that there might even be a third person involved. But I agree with, in my opinion, it almost feels like there's somebody that is involved in this that is connected in some way. I don't know how you can have the body of a missing, because she was reported missing. She didn't just go missing and the family did not report her. That's something that's very important to mention. She was a missing person legally. I don't understand how you have the body of a missing person be found in the trunk of your car and you are not placed under arrest. And you are, even if you have to prove your innocence in trial, then you just have to do that. But it seems like they would have arrested him and he would have to explain his way out of it. This whole case is very weird. I don't know if the family is being told not to talk by the police, because we saw that happen in another high profile case where they actually did have witnesses, but the police were telling the witnesses not to talk to the press because it could mess up the case. So I don't know if that's what's happening with the family. Um, all of this is really weird. I don't understand why he's not in jail at all. And I don't want anyone who is innocent to be arrested, but at this point, I'm sorry, he should have to prove that in court.
I feel that way too. This is weird. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's not fair to this young lady. It's not fair to her family. This is just sad. And they chopped up and froze her. I don't know what to even say about this anymore. You done, Callie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wayne, your thoughts?
I never understood this case from the beginning. That your girlfriend and missing, and you're not like asking where she is on TV, boo-hooing, really concerned, she missing and you going on with these concerts, and I don't understand. I mean, see, people been arrested for less.
Yes.
And all this, somebody got to know something. I just can't see. And what happened with the Tesla, is able to, all this information, has a recorder on the inside, knows what goes on with the car and all this kind of stuff. This don't make no sense. I don't know if it's some powerful people or what, but I never heard this where the person who's the lover or whatever, and can't explain. They lived in your house, everything, but you can't explain what happened to them. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to think in this case. I don't know why somebody's still walking around.
Yeah.
After this gruesome, because this is gruesome.
Gruesome. A chopped up body.
Then you freeze it. You freeze it and then put it somewhere. It takes a whole lot of cruelty, a whole lot of everything to be able to do that. To do all those steps. Chop, freeze, unthaw. Ridiculous. I don't understand. I'm done.
And whose house did they freeze her in? Now they're looking into this trip that he made and Santa Barbara, was there for like 2 hours. So it had to be somebody's house that he froze her in. And the house that he was renting and living in is now being sold on the market. So my thing is, what other evidence are you going to, like, if let's just say they missed some evidence in the house, well, they screwed now because the house is about to be sold. But I think the key is whoever house they or wherever he went in Santa Barbara, because what freezer did you use? You just can't have no random freezer. And then that person must
in
have
the
said,
middle of the night.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
They said he went to Santa Barbara. Well, Santa Barbara's almost about 2 hours away.
Okay.
He maybe not in the middle of the night is not. Maybe an hour in the close to 2 hours with no traffic. They said he went there in the middle of the night and stayed there for a few hours and came back.
See, son, but where was there? Where did he go though?
To some remote part of Santa Barbara. Not even like the town of Santa Barbara. I think it was Santa Barbara County. This case is extremely strange, and I would like to know what in the heck happened to this girl and why is him and his homeboy not in jail? Because at this point, I feel they have enough to put both of them, at least arrest them.
Yeah. So it had to be someone's house with a freezer. You just don't have a random freezer. So that person, and that is problematic. And I think they must live in that Santa Barbara area, or he met somebody there to take the bags and put them in the freezer. This is just, it's horrible. It's horrible. Katrina, your thoughts?
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel. Hey, chat. My thing is, I think it was a ritual that he was doing on her. I know a lot of people don't believe in that stuff, but a lot of people do to advance themselves into the music industry. And the reason why I think the police hasn't got them because they don't want to arrest them and have to come back and don't have all the evidence. And see if they get tried and he get away with it, or he get tried and he's not guilty, it's double jeopardy and they can't bring the case back up against him again. So I think they're waiting to make sure they had everything they need before they do any type of arrest or anything like that, because they don't want egg on their face. And like Wayne said, yes, people have gotten arrested for less than this, and it's a sad situation. But yeah, I think she was a ritual because this is some sick mess. Like, who takes the time? I mean, just to chop up a body without the head. Girl, I don't even understand how these people sleeping. I just don't get it. That just totally that's just totally disgusting. If you did all that, why y'all just didn't throw her body in the river or ocean or something like that? You had her in a trunk. Like, I guess because you thought the lady was frozen, that the smell wasn't gonna come out. This is so sick on so many levels. And whoever did this, they need to just burn. They just need totally burn. But that's what I think about the condition. I think that the police is waiting to get everything, all the information they need before they bring the charges on them, because this guy got a lot of money. And then you got to go back to his song. He sung about this unaliving in his music. This, like I said, people sing about stuff because they being did it, and that's how they getting out of. That's how they getting over with it. This is ridiculous, sad, sick, and ooh, mama, daddy, watch your kids, watch your baby, because this world is ready to devour the hell out of them. I mean, heck out of them. But that's all I got, Diva.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Diva, can I say something real quick?
Of course.
First of all, I think they sleeping very well. Second of all, I think they passed that girl around. I think she was abused. I think as a result, she met her demise doing that, and they had to get rid of the body. This is what they do all the time. What they always do: chop the body up, throw it in the river. It's always something to try to get rid of all the evidence. I think that's what happened. I think that young girl, they abused her in that house or wherever, and then had to try to get rid of the body. Because look, they froze it. Okay, that gave them some time,
right?
Until it resurfaced, so they could figure out what. Even though they must have done something right, because they ain't been arrested. Somebody unalived that girl. They know. I think he knows it, but I don't know. I don't know if he was. I think he knows it. I think it's something that went wrong. I won't say wrong because the girl was underage anyway.
Right.
But I think I think they had their way with her, and that was it.
I'm leaning in your direction, Wayne, that they passed that girl around probably. And something went left one night. And I wouldn't be surprised if, but I know, well, they couldn't have, because they said they can't determine the cause of death, so they don't even know if substances was in her body. This is extremely sad, but I'm gonna lean a little bit on the parents too. I get it; they did report her as a runaway, but I'm gonna say for the most part, people are not running away from their homes for no reason. So I do wonder, like, why was she kept running away from home? But it was a known fact that he was with this underage girl, and that alone just makes this whole situation problematic. And I just, to me, arrest them, because, like Wayne said, people have been arrested for less, and they still go to trial and whatever the case may be. People have been tried with a cause of death, and they can't find the body. So I don't know. This is a horrible situation. We're going to see how it pans out. But I do know, like, according to TMZ, I listened to that whole podcast too, Callie. They do know who this other person is that they believe helped. And it just, I don't know what's going on right now. It's a sketchy case, but we do want justice. So I'm going to stay connected to this story. I'm going to go ahead and move into the firefighter situation. When I saw this, I was just like, this is sad. And I just can't believe that this is still happening in the world on the levels that is happening. You know, I know it's like this, you know, that racism happens, but it's not so blatant. For this to be like in your face, I was just shocked. Sorry.
2 years after Black. Now to an iTeam exclusive update in New Jersey. Disturbing surveillance video has now surfaced 2 years after a Black Bloomfield firefighter accused a white firefighter of knotting a rope into a noose and taunting him.
That Black firefighter just filed a $25 million lawsuit against the township. And here's investigative reporter Sarah Wallace, who first broke that story in 2023.
The lawsuit blames the township for creating a culture that allowed racist behavior by a white firefighter here to go unchecked. In a social media post, the mayor said that racist behavior will not be ignored or tolerated, and that officials took immediate action when they learned about the incident in 2023.
It shows exactly what I described happened to a T.
Firefighter Patrick Thomas just saw this surveillance video taken in this Bloomfield firehouse in November of 2023. You can see his colleague, Walter Coffey, tying a rope.
When I watched the video, it shows him actually tying it, looking at it, admiring his work, making sure it tightens and everything like that, swinging it around. And then when I finally walked back into the firehouse, he tosses it to me. I remember catching it and looking at it and being in disbelief. I asked him, I was like, yo, what's this? And he said, oh, I want you to figure out what kind of knot this is. And I told him, I said, I know exactly what kind of knot it is. This is what people used to hang my ancestors from trees. I said, do you think this is funny?
In an exclusive iTeam interview after the incident, Thomas revealed that Coffey had actually made other noose comments the week before.
The same guy came up to me while I was standing outside and said, hey, Thomas, there's a noose upstairs on the table. And then I asked him, I said, why would I want to see a noose?
Thomas went on medical leave for PTSD related to the incident. In December of 2023, the Essex County Prosecutor's Office charged Coffey with bias intimidation. He then entered a diversion program, which could eventually lead to the dismissal of the criminal charges. Bloomfield said it was continuing its investigation.
I think there should have been some jail time, or a little bit more than 2 years probation. And if he does everything right in 2 years, he has no criminal record. It's like it never even happened.
Thomas's attorney says they felt stonewalled, the firefighter battling to stay on the payroll.
There have been multiple times since this happened in 2023 where the town has threatened to stop paying him.
Thomas's attorney says they got no information from the township about Coffey's status and finally decided to file the $25 million lawsuit alleging a hostile work environment and racial discrimination.
There is, unfortunately, a racist culture in some parts of the Bloomfield Fire Department, which is known about by the township and allowed to persist by the township for many years.
The mayor posting on social media after the lawsuit was filed that Bloomfield reaffirms zero tolerance on racism, adding Coffey was suspended without pay and the legal termination process was initiated the same day the conduct was reported.
He should have been terminated immediately.
Thomas says he would like to go back to the work he loves, but recently failed a fit for duty exam.
In the entire 2 years since we first talked, has anybody from the township ever apologized?
No.
Nobody's ever said, we're sorry this happened?
No.
Township officials did not get back to us, but they will have to respond to the lawsuit within 21 days. From Bloomfield, Sarah Wallace, News 4 New York.
Super sad. Let me just share screen again. So Bloomfield Firefighter files a $25 million lawsuit over harassment incident. A Bloomfield firefighter has filed a $25 million lawsuit against the township of Bloomfield, this is in New Jersey, for what is being described as racial discrimination in a hostile work environment, stemming from two separate incidents in which a co-worker displayed and threw a noose at him during department training sessions. Firefighter Patrick Thomas, an African-American, alleges that during a rope knot training session in November 2023, firefighter Walter Coffey, a 23-year-old veteran, made a noose out of a training rope and threw it towards firefighter Thomas, stating, "I want you to figure out what kind of knot this is." Thomas replied that, "I know exactly what it is. This is a noose. This is what people used to hang my ancestors from trees. You think this is funny?" Coffey's only response was to continue laughing. Thomas alleges that despite the criminal charges, Coffey remains employed by the Bloomfield Fire Department and that the municipality's internal investigation had not been completed nearly 2 years later. According to a press release issued by the Bloomfield Mayor, Jenny Dell, upon learning of the November 2023 racial harassment incident involving a Bloomfield firefighter, the township took immediate and decisive action, promptly referring to the incident to law enforcement. Additionally, the firefighter Walter Coffey was suspended without pay, and a legal termination process was initiated the same day the conduct was reported. Walter Coffey remains on unpaid suspension and has not been permitted to return to duty while the township finalizes the legal process of terminating his employment. Modell went on to add the Essex County Prosecutor's Office conducted an independent investigation, ultimately charging and indicting Walter Coffey for bias intimidation. The criminal accountability reinforces what has been clear from the onset. Racist conduct will not be tolerated in Bloomfield. This is an evolving story, they said. It's nasty. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, we got to talk about this conflicting story that they keep going. He said he's still working there to this day. They claim they were trying to terminate him. Now, how long does it take to terminate somebody? It's gonna take 2 years. I tell you that. Here's the thing. People try to play in your face and tell you ain't seeing what you seeing. Seeing it. Okay, this man had to take off from work, had to get therapy for this thing. Yes, he's being intimidated at work. And you shouldn't have to be intimidated, especially when you're a firefighter. You putting your life on the line every day to run into burning buildings to save other people. This is not what he should be having to do. I feel like this whole town is stuck on stupid and think we is too. But we ain't. It don't take no 2 years to fire somebody. You could have fired him while he was off on his unpaid suspension. And then what's up with this probation that they talking about they gave him? Who does that? Since when is probation a thing that we give to people that violate the law. You know what? I'm looking at all these people sideways. I need him not only to sue the township, he need to sue everybody. He needs to sue the fire department, the police department. He needs to sue everybody and sue that mayor too. Because if it's taking him 2 years to fire people, then I need to know how long it took him to fire the black people that he done fired in this town.
Well, Callie, your thoughts?
Well, okay. I'm not surprised. If you actually look up worker discrimination cases, there are a lot of these type of cases in the workplace. This has been going on. And like I always say, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he did not exist. Racism did not go anywhere. They just stopped putting it on the news, making it part of, mainstream conversation, and just sort of ignoring it. I'm glad he's taking legal action, but there is work as a community that I feel politically that we have failed to do when it comes to creating laws and legislation to protect us as a people. These are terroristic threats. These are literally terroristic threats, but they're not legally considered that because nobody did the work for them to be considered so. Everybody is focused on everybody else's community and things that have nothing to do with us, instead of focusing on things that we still gratefully still need in 2025. We need a hate crime protection bill, and we need to stop playing around with these types of things, with racial slurs and ropes being tied in certain ways and making jokes about these things. These things are not a joke, as we saw of what happened to that poor student in Mississippi. I hope that this man wins his civil suit. But again, that's a civil suit. That's not case law. There needs to be something legally done for us to have protections in the workplace. And there is no other way around it. And I almost feel like we want to live in this world where, oh, that doesn't happen anymore. We don't have to worry about that anymore. No, it's happening all the time. Nobody's paying attention to these people, or it's not being put on the news, or it's not going out on social media. But if you actually look it up, I almost want to say it's something common that they do in the workplace to intimidate Black people, especially Black American people. This happened at Tesla. I believe in the offices and in the warehouse. This happened at Netflix, who has a CEO that's actually married to a Black lady, but he doesn't run the company from day to day. So I've heard of several incidents of this happening at like huge companies. So I feel bad this happened to this man. Yes, that man should definitely be fired, but I think bigger picture, there needs to be something legally done that if someone's waving a rope tied in that fashion around, that they are arrested for making a terroristic threat, because that's what it is.
Yeah. Whew. Thank you. Wayne?
Personally, I think he should go after this man, directly, sue the fireman, put him in court, and let him have to spend some money and sue him. This kind of job, you have to depend on your coworker.
You do.
It's like the military. You out there on the battlefield, you have to know that they got your back. Okay, when you're out there and they tell you to do something, that's the way the military. Sorry about that.
They upset too. It's all right.
That's the way the military training goes. Because when they tell you when you get an order to do something, you don't have to think twice. So when you're out there, these people are supposed to have your back. If they tell you, okay, look, we got your back, same thing with a police officer. Tell you, you go in first, we got your back, with the weapons, so you think you're safe. This kind of person would lead you into harm's way. This man should not be serving this kind of, this kind of job. because this kind of job takes trust. People have to be, when they're out there risking their lives, they have to know that their partner, their coworker, got their back.
Mm-hmm.
This man with this kind of mentality, I think, will lead him to harm's way. So he doesn't need, this guy don't need to be on the police department. Not police department, fire department. I'm done.
Yeah, thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Well, you better feed them dogs.
No, they upset about this whole
Oh, they seeing it all. They seen the man walking down the street. They they saw the man walking down the street. Well, I was gonna say, back in the day, black people wasn't even allowed to be firemen or work in the EMT. They was very, very racially profiled from on those jobs. And like Wayne said, if you going in, you supposed to have my back, and I can't depend on you to cover me. Then you don't need to be around me. And the little man looked like, he moving like he's slow and stuff already, like he's stiff. And he looked like he got some age on, which that doesn't matter. But the thing of it is, this person is causing this kind of conflict on me. I can't do my job because I'm stressed about somebody showing me a noose. And these people taking it for fun. He got a diversion plan, meaning that when he gets through those 2 years, he can go be a fire person somewhere else. He won't even have a record because that's what the diversion plan is about. So, like Wayne said, hit him in his pockets. Hit him in his pockets. Maybe that'll wake him up. Because the thing of it is, you do this and you think you can just do it because of the color of your skin. You can get away with it. And basically, he is getting away with it because once he finished that diversion plan, he's good to go. He can go. He can be a fireman at some other place. He can be a fireman at some other place. So, like I said, he need to be gone. He need to be gone. And like Wayne said, his pocket need to be touched. Then maybe he'll think twice before he do it again. But then again, these people don't think twice about doing it. They just go out and do it anyway. But that's all I got, Diva.
If he get fired, though, I believe he won't get his pension. I don't know for sure. But maybe if he gets...
I don't know, me either. But how they do with the police department. They be in trouble. They move to the next city. And people be like, well, how he get this job? Well, he didn't do it in this precinct. We've seen it so many times, like with the George Floyd. Look how many times this man had allegations against him and the people around him. They just move him around. They don't get fired. They'll fire him from that, but they can still go to a different city and a different division and work somewhere else, doing the same thing over and over again. But I don't know about his pension or whatsoever, Diva. We can look into it and see about that. But yeah, if he do lose his pension, that's still good. But then again, he can go back out and try to do it again.
Yeah, he's 23 years in the game.
Oh, he probably
if he lose his pension, that would be a good thing for him. Because he thought it was a kiki, a haha, and a joke, and he did it more than once. Go ahead, Wayne. What was you going to say?
And I doubt if he becomes a better person. And forgiveness ain't got nothing to do with this. For somebody in the chat, Tyler.
Okay, well, all right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and roll into the last story: the braiding shop arrest. This whole thing is wild. It's wild. And like I said, I told you, I used to braid. I used to live in braids.
A simple, relaxing. New tonight, a Birmingham woman says what should have been a simple, relaxing trip to get her hair done ended with her locked inside the salon and assaulted. This entire ordeal caught on video, and that video has now gone viral on social media as the woman demands justice.
Reporter James Giles joining us after talking with Jessica Odom about what she says happened at Mama's Gifted Hands in Birmingham. And James, why did she say she needed to post that video?
Well, Steve, Brittany, she says it was never about going viral. She just wanted to warn others about what she experienced. She says she never expected it to blow up like this.
I just wanted to get my hair done and I wanted to go home.
Well, Jessica Odom, it's not the hairstyle she'll remember. It's what happened after the appointment.
I done paid you exactly what you asked for. Let my hair go.
I don't care.
Let my hair go.
I don't care.
She says she walked into Mama Gifted Hands expecting a quick appointment and walked out shaken, confused, missing a piece of her hair and holding a video she'd never dreamed she'd need to record.
I looked in the mirror. I loved my hair. And I went in my purse, I grabbed the $200 in cash, and I gave it to the braider. She started speaking in their language, which I don't know what ethnicity they are, but she went over to the owner, which they refer to as mama, and she gave her the money, and then she hopped up and she was like, no, this is $200.
Odom says everything started normally. A few texts, a clear plan, and a $200 agreed upon price.
Let my hair go. We cannot leave you because I'm finna sue you, bro. I'm finna sue you. Okay, I'm gonna shoot you too. I said sue.
But once the stylist was finished, she says the tone shifted. Odom says suddenly the stylist demanded more money, and that's when everything changed.
She told me to just give her $30 and I could leave, or if not, go sit in the chair and we'll cut the hair out. I said, you're not cutting my hair out, and I'm not giving you anything extra. I paid you your $200. I'm leaving. She was like, no, you're not leaving. So she turns and she locks the door.
She says she spent nearly an hour struggling with 3 women, calling police as she tried to get out.
Yeah, record me. I know. I said, if you can pay.
We went to the salon for their side of things. They declined to comment. Birmingham police say they're aware of the video and detectives are reviewing the case.
The charges will be pressed, and I am filing a lawsuit.
And once police got there, they did tell the women in the shop that they had and kidnapped her, but right now she's been arrested. So far, the video that's gone viral on TikTok has well over 1 million views. Your reporter in Birmingham, James Giles, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
So that was that, but those ladies had been arrested. They have since been arrested. Wait, I think I clicked out of the hold on one second. They have been arrested. The update is they have been arrested. Okay, so wait, let me go to this one. Okay, so the Birmingham salon owner employees arrested at the viral video shows the customer held captive. So let me see if it'll play for us. I don't know why my thing is acting up. All right, if it comes and plays, I'll play it. So a Birmingham salon owner and 2 of her employees have been arrested on kidnapping and assault charges at the viral TikTok showed them pulling a woman's hair and locking her inside the salon over a $50 dispute. The suspect identified, I'm not going to botch up their names, but it was 3 ladies, all from Birmingham, Alabama, have been charged in connection to the incident that occurred last Saturday. Jessica Odom told the news she was excited to get her hair braided at Mama Gifted Hands on Parkway East in Birmingham's Roebuck area. She says she loved the way her hair looked after she got out of the chair, but it quickly changed. Odom says she texted the owner, which we saw, and the owner it was $200. I want to show y'all the video where they said, you know, they got arrested, but I don't know. My thing is acting up here. If it gets his life together, I'll play it. But in the meantime, I'll start to go around. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
So this happened in my neck of the woods. And so the story that's going around is that she didn't bring her hair with her. And it would have been 100 had she brought the hair. And because they used the hair, she was supposed to pay the $50 for the hair. It's human hair. I think this could have been handled a whole lot better. When they saw her, she didn't bring in the hair. I would have simply said, you know, this is gonna bring the cost up because you didn't bring your hair. I think these people come and they put up these braiding shops on every corner.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how they work. They work in groups. You come in there and it's 3 or 4 people in your head so they can get you out really quickly. But I see them popping up on every corner, especially in the black neighborhoods. They love to come and pop up on every corner in a little side mall, whatever. They open the doors and then they try to downgrade other braiders in the area to get the quick cash. This is what you get when you get quick cash. And for no reason at all would I ever jeopardize my freedom for $50. I feel like the same way this lady called the police on them, she could have called the police on her. You know what I'm saying? If you were really that pressed for this $50, then you could have called the police and say, you're not going to leave until the police get here then. You ain't have to cut the lady hair. You don't have to be violent. There's the right way and the wrong way. And I feel like for the owner to be there and not get involved and let this braider pull somebody's hair. And this happened for a while. They said she made it to the door one time to unlock the door, and they yanked her back by the braids and pushed her back into the chair and locked the door again. Can't do that. Okay. I don't know how many times these people have gotten arrested for locking people in buildings. Now, this happened also in a nail salon where people was locking people in buildings for not paying, and they keep telling you you cannot do that. That is a kidnapping charge. I feel like we have to, in all things, get an understanding. And when you're doing something that's like this cost, because this is not the first story we'd have had about braids and how that's gone wrong. So I think these braiders need to start getting their money up front. Because evidently the people don't want to pay them what they asking for. So best thing to do is get your money up front. I don't like nobody pulling nobody hair and holding them hostage. I really don't. I feel like that's unfair to everybody involved. When I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. Okay. You can call the police all you want. I'll talk to the police, but you better not hold me hostage. Because baby, it couldn't have been me. I'd have knocked all of them out and I'd still been out of there.
All right, I'm coming to you, Callie, but wait, I have the video where they were actually arrested. Let's just take a listen.
Two of her employees have been arrested on kidnapping and assault charges. Thanks for joining us at 4. I'm Guy Rawlings.
And I'm Brittany Decker. This comes after a video went viral of the employees pulling a woman's hair and locking her inside the business until police showed up last week. We have Michael Higdon with the latest details from the breaking news desk.
Yeah, it was an intense TikTok video with more than 1 million views showing a Birmingham woman's experience being locked inside of a braiding salon and having her hair pulled out over $50. The suspects have been identified as Asatu Kamara, Julia Ondo, and Gladys Ninzinga Kumba, all of Birmingham. They have been charged with kidnapping and assault in connection to the incident that happened last Saturday at Mama Gifted Hands on Parkway East. Jessica Odom, the victim in this case, told WBTM 13 she texted the salon owner directly to book her appointment. In the text messages, you can see how she asked how much for boho knotless braids, and the owner responded with $200. Well, apparently human hair was used to do the style, and the owner said she owed another $50. Odom said she started walking toward the door when the owner asked her for $30 instead of that. If she couldn't pay the $30, she could sit down so the owner could actually cut the hair out. Well, that's when Odom claims the owner locked her inside the salon. Odom said that she tussled with the owner and other employees while trying to unlock the door and finally got it opened when she felt someone grab her by the hair. Odom said that they pushed her back into the salon, locked the door again. In video that you see right here showing the employees pulling on her hair for another 30 to 40 minutes until police actually showed up. All suspects were taken into custody without incident today. They remain in the Jefferson County Jail without bond.
The without bond is crazy to me. Callie, your thoughts?
Okay, I'm confused. I'm gonna tell you why I'm confused.
Kidnapping in Birmingham is a no bond charge here.
Oh no, that's not even why I'm confused. I'm confused as to what she was even doing in this salon, because in September, I believe it was, we were supposed to be doing a boycott of these salons. This was all over social media because
But she
this
just went last
exact
Saturday.
thing. Yeah,
You mean a
this
boycott
exact
forever?
thing had happened to so many people that we were supposed to stop going to these salons. So I'm still, to me at this point, I'm sorry this happened to her, but and maybe she didn't hear about the boycott and the other issues and see the other videos of this being done to other women. Maybe she just didn't know, because your algorithm is going to give you what you look at. I mean, I understand everybody does not see these things, depend upon their algorithm or if they're even active on social media. I'm glad that this is at least on mainstream news. But this is what it is. I mean, even after going through this whole thing with this boycott, this incident happens. I think that all of this trying to be convenient and the price being too good to be true, if something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Now, as far as them, the price needs to be agreed upon before they start on your head. Period. If she didn't have the hair, all of that stuff should have been agreed upon before they started braiding her hair. In my opinion, they were trying to pull something slick, because why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
And then why would you assume that someone has $50 extra? I would never assume that. I would never assume that somebody's just able to just come up with $50. Maybe this is all the money she had. So I'm gonna say this. Let's just stop with these braiding salons. I've been wearing braids ever since I was a little bitty girl, off and on. I've never been in a braiding salon. I could always find somebody who was somebody's cousin, somebody's homegirl, somebody's something to braid my hair until I got old enough to braid my own hair. There are also crochet braids and things that you can even order from Amazon that you really do not have to be a hair whiz to know how to do. On top of this happening, a lot of people were losing their hair because the braids were done way too tight. Because a lot of times these people are not experienced braiders. A lot of times they wouldn't be able to do the styles correctly, or the hair would be braided so tight the person's hair follicles would end up damaged. Like I went through a whole deep dive on this in September when the whole boycott happened. So what I'm going to say is that maybe these braiding salons are just something that don't need to exist. We haven't had them in all this time and we've been fine. We don't need them. Just don't put yourself in this situation for somebody to do something like this to you. If there's other ways of getting your hair done, or maybe you just got to wear a different style if you can't find somebody to help you braid your hair or whatever. But this ain't working. This is like the umpteenth time this has happened. This is not like, oh my God. This is like, oh, again. What was she still doing in there? Like that was the reaction that I had, because I have literally seen this happen to so many women. On top of all the women that I've seen with blisters and patches of hair missing because their hair has been braided so tight. Yeah, let's just leave these salons alone.
Ooh, thank you, Callie. Wayne, your thoughts?
Them women may live in Birmingham, but they don't sound like they're from Birmingham. They only sound like they're from the United States. Not that matters, but however, wherever they're from, they just learned that you don't do this here and get away with it. Lock somebody in there, I hope she sues every single one of them. Because to put your hands on somebody, wrong. Stop her from leaving, wrong. She needs to get a suit on each one of them and possibly own that salon. Because this is ridiculous. But this is what happens when you put your hands on people.
Thank you, Wayne. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. Well, y'all already know I get my hair braided. I wear braids year round. But and yeah, you're right, Callie. It was a protest because they were saying that the Nigerian women that braid black women hair don't even like the black women. They think they're more than the black women that comes to them. But like me, if I was in there and you would pull my hair and my head already throbbing, child been a lot of slow walking and gospel singing, and y'all been eating fried chicken and cornbread on Sunday because there's no way you finna pull my hair. My head is already hurting, and you pulling it. You got to be kidding me. And then the thing of it is, she said that she's charging her $50 extra for the hair, but you should have put that in the text message. You told her $200. You did not say bring any more hair. You did not say, if you don't bring this hair, we're going to add $50 to that. You didn't do that. So by you holding me hostage and then assaulting me, you think I'm going to let that ride? No, ma'am. Because you should have stated this from the beginning. When that woman came in that salon, you did not see her with no hair in her hand. You should say, well, you know, I got to charge you extra because we have to use the straightened hair, which is called like the kinky wet hair. So it's going to be like $50. So if she would have told the lady that, maybe she would have said, well, no, don't do the boho braid. Let's just do the box braids, you know, regular whatsoever. The girl would know, you know, she had a notice of what was going on. But when you would get through with my hair and then say that I owe you $50 more, you lost your mind. And the thing is if ain't nobody finna pay nobody up front for no hairdo, because it might not turn out to be right. And then you got to fuss with them to get it back. Do like my daughter does. She give people a deposit. They don't show up, she keep it. But when they come to her, they know she a beast. They know she finna work their hair up. But the thing of it is, she tell them exactly what it is before they get in her chair. So that way it don't be no surprise. And if they need extra stuff, they go to the salon. They go to the hair store and pick up whatever they need. But she don't use no private surprises on people when she's doing hair. And that's how business is supposed to be run. But y'all saw in this lady hair. You didn't tell the woman that she needed extra money. You didn't do that until you finished. So it was your loss, not hers. And she did the right thing, calling the police and recording it. So y'all will get in trouble. That's all I got.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Listen, they messed around and they found out. Now they locked up with no bond. It's on them. You know what I'm saying? This firefighter, I'm definitely going to stay connected to this story. And I hope he gets every bit of that $25 million. And now that man, who's laughing now? You laughing now? You on leave with no pay. Is it a joke and funny to you now? A kiki and a ha-ha? And shame on the fellow brothers that was in the firehouse that wasn't saying anything. Or that were perhaps laughing too. Celeste, I hope you resting in peace. Just so sad. Just curious to know how she did leave this world. But I'm more concerned. Somebody needs to get arrested. We need justice. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on this Saturday night. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, do the Diva a favor. Hit it on the way out. Good night. Goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo. Love y'all.